Every week for the last 16 years, spoken word performers gather to recite their poetry for an audience as a part of the Austin Poetry Slam.
Are you ready for the Poetry Slam?
During these slams, judges are randomly selected from the audience, and after 3 elimination rounds, the highest scoring poet is awarded a cash prize. The poems that are performed range from sarcastic and comical anecdotes to emotional windows into the poet's soul.
Everyone is.
All right, we have an 8.0. Sorry, I'll start over. A 7.9, an 8.0, an 8.0, an 8.5, and 9.6. Audience, how do you feel about the scores?
I think writing a poem is the sexiest thing a person can do.
Keith Ruckus, a member of the Austin Slam Nationals team, is a regular performer at the Spider House Cafe, and he actually moved here from Philadelphia for the sole purpose of becoming involved in the Austin poetry scene.
I started writing poetry in 2006, and I did some work in the Philadelphia poetry scene. That was about 6 years ago, and then I moved to Austin about 3 years ago. Sold everything I owned and moved to Austin just to be a part of the Austin poetry scene. The thing I bring to the table that I don't think the other poets can bring is I bring a certain level of honesty that's uncomfortable for some people, but what you try to do in your writing is put out a part of something so honest that people see something of it in themselves. Someone may not have had the exact same struggles I've had, the same problems. This might have been worse or way worse, but I want them to see something in what I'm doing and relate to me. And that's what it's all about. The whole point of doing a poetry slam, yes, it's to win because you want to win, but it's people coming to you up afterwards and saying, I went through this. I saw myself in you, and thank you for doing what you do.
The poets who perform each week have become somewhat of a family, and 13 of the best represent Austin at Nationals competition each year. Current Slam Master, or Poetry Pack leader, Danny Strack, is notorious for his humorous yet meaningful work.
Truth is, most marketers would sell you a broken vibrator and tell you it's a lightsaber. Marketing is a Jedi mind trick used to get people to believe a lie. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. So, I shouldn't be telling you this, but I do marketing for a living.
But other poets, like Jonathan Sterling, choose a more serious tone for their writing.
My home would be peaceful, loud in all the right places. The art will tell a story of where I've been and who I've known. It'll be a big home, big enough to show me how much I've grown. It'll be big enough to remind me I have much more space to grow.
Lacey Roop is another regular poet who recently published a new book entitled And Then Came the Flood.
Doing them now. I'm practicing hugs and handshakes because that's what saves people. And I never got to refraining from cursing or saying your prayers to get you any closer to heaven or any further from hell. Don't be afraid to pull the brakes from your feet and skip to your next location because the greatest distance, I swear, is still the one within you.
Aspiring poet and dedicated audience member Lindsay Young feels as though any type of audience can find a way to relate to the poetry performed, but the people don't realize how easily it can be accessed and understood if just given a chance.
You know, most of my friends don't know about it, or when I tell them about it, it doesn't sound like something that they would want to come to, because they think that poetry is inaccessible to them. They think that it's going to be difficult, and it's really not this kind of poetry, especially performance poetry, where you have to reach that audience and you have to get a score for it.
Like, when you think of poetry off the back of the can, this is not what you're thinking about. This is street poetry. I call it rock star poetry because I'm very vain. But, you know, you have to go back in the place you were when you wrote it. This is as much being a performance artist as it is being a poet.
Every poet has a poem people remember them by, and it seems, more often than not, that these are the poems that are most emotional and most difficult to perform.
I hope that makes you feel heavy. I hope your son comes to you one day, asks you why he is so different, why the other kids tie him to fence posts and shove apples in his mouth, why they hurt him, why you have to put a lock on the fridge to stop him from eating all this away, and then I hope you try to smile.
24 even for Dave. Audience, applaud the poet, not the scores.
The Austin Slam has a lot of local support from fans who show up every Tuesday at 8 p.m. to support their favorite poets.
Before this first round, give it up for
This is Caroline and Audrey reporting.